Joining us is Jennifer Adams, an educational technologist within TLT. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you doing?
So what is the difference between these personal computer-based conferencing systems and the big room-based systems?
Well, the room-based systems are very heavy on video, and they have great quality video and audio. When you move to the web conferencing systems, it really has a lot more interaction. It's about sharing documents, being able to collaboratively mark up documents and work together that way.
And there's a lot of more flexibility with the web-based systems?
The web-based system has a lot of potential that most people don't even go into when they're using it. There's areas for polling, so you can get immediate feedback, similar to you would with clickers in a lecture environment. You have back-end reporting also, so that you can go back in, and even if you had 200 people participating in a room environment, you can see what people absorbed, how they comprehended things, and assess your lecture.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to set up and try and replicate what ART's doing, how would they go about doing that?
Well, they simply have to ask for an account. They can do that through a form that's on our website or by contacting me directly through email.
Okay. And do they then have to schedule the room with you?
And they really don't. Usually I tell them, I set it up for them. We set up the initial people who will be experimenting to begin with as kind of owners of the room. Mm-hmm. And then I tell them, go ahead and play for a little bit and then call me back. And then we set up a one-on-one or a small group session, and we go into what questions they had. The scheduling is all up to them. The rooms are all permanent rooms. Even they seem to have a scheduling component when you look at them in the GUI, but they're really persistent.
What is the most common technical issue that new users have with the system?
I think usually they need to go through a selecting the camera process and an audio setup wizard that's built into the system, and that's about it. Like one of the things that happened recently is one person wasn't able to hear the other person, mm-hmm. went through, had a little talk, oh, did you do this, did you do that? And it finally came to like, oh, they didn't have a microphone. You know, sometimes it's the most low common denominator thing, and it gets overlooked.
Art, your experience?
Yeah, I'm interested in if we use this in-classroom system, would we be able to, the digitized form, could we then distribute that via the internet? Could it be posted to Blackboard?
With the room-based video conferencing, I don't think that recording is really a feature that is used. So that is another big advantage to web conferencing, is that it does have the recording right mm-hmm. there.
Okay. And normally you have to have specialized facilities set up. So while the quality of the video is much greater, you can only do it to specialized rooms. Whereas with the video-based system, with the internet-based system, you go from one office to another or one classroom to another. There's no special facilities needed.
But the final product that's produced from this in-classroom system is digitized, that I can then provide a link to for students to review and look at?
Well, if you say we have a video conference room over in Javits, mm-hmm. you know, it's a small conference room, first of all. It's not going to hold a lot of people. If you do a recording of that, of course you could digitize it and have it posted somewhere on one of our servers.
Okay. So, so that would be more for meeting collaboration then?
Yeah, that's really more trying to get that virtual meeting room where you're pulling one more person into the meeting.
Now, do you have hardware and software that will allow us to digitize a lecture?
Well, we do. We have this new system. It's Echo 360. That's built into certain lecture halls. The Javits Lecture Center is pretty much fully equipped with that. And we also have a lecture hall over in the ESS building.
But the intent of that system is sort of a one-way delivery. You're recording a class that's presented and it gets distributed. There's no interactivity built into that system. Okay. So we have now a whole spectrum where we have the very flexible Adobe Connect system where you can go to any facility where you have a computer and an internet connection, to the room-based systems which are high quality, but not so good at sharing applications and whiteboarding and so on, but very good if you wanted to have like where presence of the audience is very important, where you want high quality audio, high quality video. You're making important decisions and having very, very important conversations. To the Adobe, the Echo 360 system, which is essentially just recording what was done in a classroom and later on asynchronously distributed out to the audience.
Interestingly, too, I think that it does go from Adobe Connect being where you could have the most complexity for the faculty and the students to something, you're pulling it back a little bit, the complexity in the video classroom, and Echo 360 becomes completely transparent for everyone.
But a lot of our faculty then, at least in the College of Business, that are not experimenting yet, would be able to digitize their lecture if they use this Echo 360. So it would be the most painless
Yes.
approach to initially starting out with some of our blended programs. So I would find that extremely beneficial, at least to start seeing the benefits.
Yeah.
Good way of ramping people up might be to start Echo 360 and then move into the actual
Exactly.
video conferencing environments.
And then the video conferencing room itself that's over in Javits would be more for meetings, where we
Right.
need it to really want that of high quality,
Correct. That
a form of
telepresence.
telepresence
Right.
environment,
Yep.
which which I think is a great practice for anyone who's eventually conferencing and so on. We'd be able to use it in that fashion.
Yep.
Thank you, Art and Jennifer, for joining me on today's show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any further questions for either of our guests, you can post questions on our blog site at tlt.stonybrook.edu, where we'll also post the direct contact information for both of our guests. I hope to see you next time on another exciting episode of Innovations in Education.